Share, a story of change in a small nonprofit. The year is 1976, and breast cancer is seen as a death sentence. Other than Betty Ford, who had a mastectomy in 1974, no one is talking about it. Enter a New York City-based breast surgeon who wants his patients to get more support for the disease. He decides, why don't I get them together to support each other? He advertises, and 12 women show up. Share is born. From that one support group, a core of volunteers develops. They form more groups. They add a telephone hotline. They hire paid staff and incorporate as a nonprofit. They start supporting women with ovarian cancer as well as breast cancer. They add educational programs so women can learn more about treatments. They start offering services in Spanish. They add wellness programs for survivors, like yoga. What started as 12 women in a room grows to thousands served. Many of the women who work at Share are breast or ovarian cancer survivors. The atmosphere is very supportive. The office is decorated with quilts made by survivors. Staff people celebrate each other's birthdays and special occasions. It's a special place to work. In 2006, 30 years after its founding, Share is going through some difficulties. There are money problems, and the number of people seeking services is diminishing. Why? There are some external threats. Lots of organizations are now providing breast cancer support. The internet is changing everything, and fewer people want to come to support groups and call the hotlines. Share's donations are decreasing. Change is necessary, and it's going to involve strategic planning and downsizing. So what do? They put together a strategic planning committee to set priorities for the change. Then they hand over their recommendations to task forces to implement them. One of the first things they recommend is a lot of cutting. They cut staff time from 5 days to 4 days. They cut salaries. They eliminate some administrative jobs and plan for volunteers to come in to handle some of the tasks. Then they start asking questions. They want to get at what is the core of Share. They make some recommendations. Let's refocus on what we do best, they say. Support groups or hotlines. We don't need wellness programs, so let's cut them. And let's find a better way to offer educational programs. And by the way, let's do a better job of marketing our services. So they put the task forces to work. Now, the task forces include staff people, and once they start to meet, there's resistance. Staff are complaining about pay cuts, cuts in time, and the loss of their coworkers. They also don't like that Share is now offering fewer services. And they're confused about some of the other suggested changes. So how do the leaders handle this resistance? Lots of communication. Some new ideas about how to make sure people are getting the services they need. And a constant reminder that the health of the organization is at stake. So how do the leaders make the changes stick? Again, lots of communication. A lot of meetings to iron out problems with the implementation. And a fair degree of document updating, because in a small nonprofit, who has the time? So, is it a success or a failure? Well, by the following year, the budget is balanced, and Share has built up a financial reserve. But they don't address the marketing problem or the internet, which were the key threats they were facing. And they had to hire back some of the employees because the volunteers weren't doing all the work. So how long will the change last? SHARE didn't do everything it set out to do, but they didn't fail either. The director said it best when she said, "We came to understand that the process was ongoing and that we needed to keep reevaluating and changing. And in today's world, what's more important?"